Fanafo Seve. All right, we're underway. Greg's with first use. Their fullback, Cooper Mangan, received it in front of his sticks. And that was a good first defensive effort from that Bass pack. There's a bit of an offload and some space down that left edge. Just trying to stay in the field of play and doing so well. Certainly plenty of venom out there early, physically and defensively. Look at that, two back-to-back tackles there from Afiaki, the right centre for Bass. And now a settler up the middle. That's Guymer, their captain. So a good end to that set as well. A good kick finding grass out in front of Eamon Marbani, the Bass fullback. And he's folded over. 3 involved in that tackle to put him on his back. Out of dummy half goes Tautua. That's one of the Tautua brothers I was talking about. That's Maxwell, the centre. Look out for both of them. And here's the other centre now, taking a run. One off the ruck to the right. Charles Afiaki. Up the middle, nearly bursting through Isaiah Tuifua, the Manly Harold Mats representative. And now there's the end to Bass's first set. Kicks downfield by their captain, Jonathan Sewer. He's going to have his hands in everything today as Mangan brings it back for Greggs. Let's see how much sting there is defensively in this set. There's Sewer again, the number 6. The home crowd here from Bass giving this home side plenty of energy defensively early in this game. So far a game of clean possession in these opening few minutes. There's Mangan at dummy half. Through hands they go. In the headgear doing some ball playing there is Heath Mason, the Tigers SG ball rep, and there he is putting one through out of dummy half. He might find the sideline here as well. He does, about 10 metres out from that Bass line. So both sides settling nicely into this one. And as mentioned, a really healthy crowd here at Bass High for this game. 2 teams, 2 winless teams heading into this game, both playing their 3rd Pool D match. Mostly pride on the line, but there are some important eyeballs checking in for this one as well. One of the recruitment men out of Manly, I was chatting to him. Shout out to Jay. There's a Greg's player down in back play, very slow to get back to his feet. I think it's Zach Jones, the dummy half, and that could be vitally important in this one. There's his opposite number as we continue upfield. William Ben, one of the Manly Harold Mats squad members. Sewer now working it through hands. And there you see how dangerous Maxwell Tautua is. He's lost it though. Trying to get back to his feet. Maxwell Tautua, who'd beaten a few defenders in that play as well. So just in back play, we're just keeping an eye on Zach Jones, who's getting back to his feet very slowly, making the first tackle of that set. The number 9 for Greggs. He is back to his feet now at least. Saw him putting the strapping on that left shoulder before the game as well. Looks like potentially it could have been a bit of a stinger. Back to his feet now, and obviously they've cleared the possibility of a concussion. The doctor had a good long look at him. We'll just have to keep an eye on Zach Jones there though. The dummy half for Greggs, who's going to pack at 13 in this scrum though. So there he is, passing the ball on. So a couple of handy offloads to kick things off for Greggs as Mangan heads centre field. And there's Guymer once again. He's hit well. Plenty of early work for these Gregs. Back rowers. In fact, it was cross before. There's the captain, Geimer. Zach Jones appears to be okay. Lachlan Bush, he was hit well. And now they continue down this right edge. That kick just didn't quite have enough juice on it. And it will be retrieved by Maxwell Tautua, and a really quick play the ball off the back of it. It's going to put this Greg's left edge defence on the back foot. Downfield goes Charles Afiaki. Some really quick play the balls to this set. There's Mitchell Tautua and a penalty off the back of it. Riding some momentum there, coming out of their own end, Bass. And Jonathan Sewer, he will kick for touch and give Bass the first really juicy opportunity in this ball game. So there he is, Sewer, turning it back on the inside for Tui Fua, one of the Manly Harold Matts representatives in this lineup. As they work the ball left now, there's Sewer once again, showing to go this time, wrapped up by the opposition captain. They're working their way close to that Greg's line. Straight up the middle they go through Taulunga. Now they go short side. Taufua is pretty flat-footed. There's still a couple more tackles left in this set. Sewer gets it at first receiver. A flat ball's just gone through hands. So there was a double knock on there. Just not quite on the same page as his captain there. And the error comes. So St. Greg's goal line defence holds up with their first real tester of the afternoon so far. So 30-minute halves to contend with here for both sides. Obviously both teams desperate for a win. And as mentioned, it certainly isn't just pride that they're playing for, an opportunity to stand out and get noticed by some important sets of eyes here as well. As they work it down that short side, Heath Mason takes it himself this time. He's been very involved early on so far. So through they go out to this left, and there is some space to work into. There's Parry, fends off one, and now he wants contact. That'll get Cody Parry into the ball game. Put on the boot by Trey Fitzpatrick, the number 7. And under a bit of pressure at the back there is Eamon Marbani. Tackled by Mason. And Cooper Cross as well, Greg's lock, who's been really busy in this game so far. Bit of a trick play out of dummy half. Sinoval takes a run. Bit of a sloppy play the ball as well. How busy's he been? Maxwell Tautua, one of the Tautua brothers. Jonathan Sewer, straight up the middle goes Sewer, and he finally finds an offload as well. There's the other brother, Mitchell Tautua, in support. And he'll have to go back for the play the ball as they work it down this right edge, and rolling one in behind. Mangan is back there. Not a lot of size to him. He's been playing above his weight so far. Now there's a problem in back play back at halfway for Jonathan Sewer, their captain, which is a real concern. We'll be keeping an eye on that, of course. One of the vitally important players for this home side here at Bass High. How good's the crowd, by the way? We're just going to blow time off momentarily as we just try and zoom in on Sewer in back play, who appears to have a bit of a problem with that right ankle after the flick pass offload. Looking real dangerous up the middle. finding some holes in behind that St. Greg's ruck defence. How much weight can he put on it? Looks a little bit ginger, doesn't he? So we just go back and have a looking at Jonathan Sewer. Yeah, he doesn't look all that comfortable. We'll see if he can work through that ailment though. So St. Greg's College with the ball coming out of their own end. And there's a good little link play there for Guymer. In fact, no, that's Lachlan Bush. There's a number of big blonde-haired fellas in that Greg's pack. There's Mangan. Hasn't he been busy? He's elusive as well, the Greg's fullback. Now it's with Mason. Gives this one plenty of height. Puts Marbani under some pressure. What about the bounce as well? Just through the hands of Ollie Kalusan. Was on there potentially for Kalusan. What a wicked bounce that one took for Eamon Marbani, the Bass fullback. So they get out of danger there. And they're just sucking in the big ones as well. Jai Daly, particularly the 7 for Bass. So coming out of their own end now, Bass. Looks like Jack Brand is already into the ball game in number 18. Guymer with a good tackle there on Fanafo Seve. There's Sewer. He looks okay now. Working it down that left-hand edge. A bit of an overlap as well. Trying to stay in the field of players. Mithu Murray does pretty well. There's Sewer once again. Rolls one in behind. That's a dangerous one, but it's cleaned up well at the back there. Cooper Mangan, he's been good. Oh, fierce defence on Paddy Cleary. As Greg's try to work it out of their own end and out of their own red zone as well. There's a good run. Tom Fisher, Tigers SG ball rep. Midfield. Not the best play of the ball. Mason now cuts one out. And Guymer off the right foot. It's plenty of captain on captain action out there as Mason was under a little bit of pressure to get that one away. He does. Good clean hands too by Elijah Sinoval. Almost back to halfway. Bass start this set. There's Charles Afiaki. Good contact on him. Cross and Bush involved. And there's another good tackle midfield on Marbani. So into the ball game comes Simi Laifi. He's only 15, if you can believe that, the number 15. Almost through a half. A gap goes Tautua. Now there's a chance here with the quick play out of dummy half. William Ben, one of the Manly Harold Matt's squad members, was held up. So that Greg's defence continues to hold up here. And that was the end to that set. Nil steer still here in the first half at Bass High. There's that number 15 for Bass making the tackle. Slips down but did complete it. Simi Laifi, 15 years of age and has already represented New South Wales at under 18s level. Apparently he's an unbelievable trainer as well. And there he is getting busy in the middle. Simi, as Greg's now down that right edge. A show and a go from Zach Jones, who stayed down earlier in the game. He does appear to be okay. Here's a bit of a shift out to the left edge. Tom Fisher playing it now. Up goes the kick. And good chase coming through from Parry. But it slipped off. So Ollie Kalusan makes the tackle in the end on Sinoval. There's a good run. Afiaki, the Bulldogs, Harold Matt's rep. And right centre for Bass. Now it's Marbani. On their own 40 as we get towards the end of this set from Bass. Still 0-0. Just up over halfway now go Bass. Jonathan Sewer. A show and a go once again, and there's another offload. Back on the inside, and a loose carry in the end by Isaiah Tuifua. One of 5 or 6 Harold Matt's representatives for Manly in this Bass lineup. So it will be Greg's ball. St Gregory's college coach Tom Morrison, he must be pretty happy with how his team's defence has held up so far in this game. Most of the matches has been played in their own half, and they've done plenty of goal line defence as well so far. St Greg's College, what an NRL nursery it is. On an angle goes Parry, and he breaks the initial defence as well. Now he's got that sideline to worry about if they get a hold of him. Still being dragged, Parry, and it's ripped out. There's a penalty there, surely. Bit of feeling in this one. Maybe a slight disagreement, just a little one. So this will be Greg's first main chance with ball in hand in opposition territory, or at least starting a set. And Heath Mason's kick for touch was a little bit concerning for a moment there, but it does find it. So Kalusan takes the tap and gives it to Tom Fisher. At pace, he gets it. Now Cross with a dummy. Tackled by a number at the... there's a Tuifua, one of the strip there, as the others pulled away. Mason now, through hands they go. Geimer out the back for Mangan. And Mangan's going to be pulled down on that right edge. About 10 or 12 metres out. Mason at first receiver to Bush. Oh, and he's lost it, looking for an offload up the middle. There's been plenty of bush bashing so far in the middle of the park, involving the number 8 for Greg's, Lachlan Bush, the Tigers under-18s Laurie Daly Cup representative. So not the end to that set of 6 that Coach Tom Morrison would be after. The first time they've started a set inside opposition territory in this ball game. So it looks like we could be in for a low scorer here. Given how other Pool D results have gone so far in the Peter Mulholland Cup, you get the sense that there's going to be a converted try or less in this ball game. As there's an overlap down the left edge, and away goes Jonathan Sewer. It's Mason trying to come across in cover, and 6 on 6 gets there in the end. Well done in cover, Mason. What a run that was from Sewer. Up the middle goes Taufua. That's Maxwell bumping away from tackles. There's the offload as well. Has he lost it? No, there's a sin bin. So just never got back on side, and that could be big in this ball game. It's one of the Greg's forwards. Just trying to get a read on who exactly it is. Out there, there's a number of blonde-haired fellas in that pack, as I mentioned. It could be Bush, I think. And that could be a real problem for Greg's. Play on here now. So taking a couple of dummies as Ben. Options either side. And they go to Foe on the right. Fanafo Seve goes straight through and plants it down under the black dot. Basser on the board. The Bulldogs SG ball representative Fanafo Seve up the middle. He was always going to be the one of the ones to keep an eye on in this Bass lineup today. Had a chat to his father pre-game, Sal, and he was quietly confident about Foe's prospects this afternoon. That's why tough to bring down so close to the line, and he just showed a prime example of that right there. 4-0. Kick to come. Bass over Greggs. And it was set up by that break on the left edge from their captain, Jonathan Sewer. One of the other Bulldogs SG ballers in this lineup. And it'll be Jonathan Sewer looking to add the extras. It was only about 15 minutes ago that Sewer stayed down with a potential right ankle problem. But he does appear to have walked that one off, thankfully, as he'll look to add the extra 2. So good to see so many league fans here at Bass High watching on. A lot of students giving us plenty of atmosphere to work with here. So Jonathan Sewer set up the try with a nice line break, and he adds 2 more to the score. 6-0 Bass over Greggs. Between these two winless sides in Pool D. Bass coming off a 22-all draw in Maitland, of course, against Hunter. While for Greggs, both of their losses by 6 points. So Greggs to restart. Good kick too. Putting Daly under a little bit of pressure. There's big Simi Leafy, the 15-year-old. Down that right edge and straight through Taufua. There's the older brother Mitchell. Trying to work his way around. Mangan still hasn't been pulled down properly. Now he is well into opposition territory. What a set off the back of points this is for Bass. Now a show and a go from Daly. So Jai Daly plays it. Back to midfield they go. And a good offload too for the dummy half, Ben. Although he was under a bit of pressure. There's Simi once again taking more work. 5th and last tackle. Not too far out. Surely not again. Fanafo Seve, has he gone in? Right next to the goalpost, he's claiming it. And it looks like referee Callum Richardson is ruling a turnover. That Greg's team just low on petrol right now. They'll enjoy this 30-second period just to get some of that breath back. So it's Callum Richardson with the whistle for the record. His touchies, Kieran Casey and Jabril Daisley. And now there's a ruck infringement going against the defending Bass High. A welcome opportunity to bring the ball out of their own end for St. Greg's College. And they'll take the 10 and tap. So Heath Mason taps it and gives it to his captain, Guymer. And there he is again, Mason, doing some ball playing. There's a good shot on Jaden Malia. Now they go out to this left edge forward, Tom Fisher, one of the stars in that Greg's lineup. Trey Fitzpatrick turns it back inside. And there's another penalty. So the extra work there from Bass number 7, Jai Daly, costs his team. As a kick for touch nearly hits us up here in commentary. Prime opportunity for Gregs to hit back, about 30 odd out from that Bass line, juggling, but holding on was Zach Wheeler. 30 metres out, tackle 2, bit of room up the middle for Dylan Smith. Well sighted there from the number 14 into the game now. Was trying to milk a penalty. There's Kalusin going back on the inside. And Kalusin's now swung down by his opposite number. They're only about 3 or 4 metres out. Smith once again tried to go himself, but lost his footing and he's wrestled backwards. As I mentioned, it is still pretty soft underfoot here at Bass High. There's room on the outside, but Guymer just caught it slightly off balance. Couldn't link to his outside men. Mason with a cutout ball. Well cleaned up defensively. Bit of drive in the tackle there as well. And whistle blows turnover. So Bass, once again, they hold on. Greg's yet to score 6-0 in this game so far in favour of the home side. Bass number 8, Fanafo Seve, the only try scorer so far. As Bass now bring it out of their own end, nearly poking his nose out the other side, Orlando Manasi. Just has to go back and play it on the correct spot. So there's Laifi, a 15-year-old. I'm going to keep saying it because it's hard to believe looking at the size of him. As Bass work it back to halfway, there's Orlando Manasi once again. Almost to midfield. Sue is waiting for it out the back and he's going to try and give this ball the torpedo treatment. Mangan got a pretty kind bounce. Well picked up defensively. Still in his own half there. So both number 14s are into the game. That was Bilal El Yusuf, one of the Bulldogs' Harold Matts players in this Bass lineup. Good contact there from Jack Brander, the number 18. Now Fitzpatrick gives it to his edge forward, Tom Fisher, and there's looseness in the carry, but Greggs will get the penalty. Mangan's keen to tap and go, and he does. Plenty of ball running work for the Greggs number 1 in this game. Dylan Smith doesn't mind a pick and go out of dummy half. Fisher plays it to Fitzpatrick, and now they hand it on. Good collision there. Malia with the footy. 20 out. Centerfield play the ball. So Fitzpatrick rolls one in behind, and he's met, and there's a collision, and it looks like Parry has forced the ball free for Greg's first score in this game. So a great chase from Cody Parry. Was there arms involved in the tackle? That's what the home fans are wondering. Either way, it's been given by Callum Richardson. 6'4". Greg's worked their way back into this ball game. It's left winger and Parramatta SG ball rep Cody Parry on the end of it. And it'll be Greg's number 6, Heath Mason, with goal kicking duties here for Greg's. Well, things just got really interesting as you hear the siren in the background right on the stroke of half time. What a second half we have in stall with Mason looking to add the extra 2. So that'll definitely give Greg's a rise heading into the halftime break. Heath Mason, the SG Ball Tigers representative. Tough assignment. He's been so busy in this first half, an important cog in the Greg's machine. The Bass fans on the sideline are precariously quiet, allowing Mason a free run, but he has pushed it across the face. So the score at half time will be 6-4 in favour of Bass, in favour of the home side in this round 2 Pool D clash. Both of these winless sides desperate to make sure their Schoolboy Cup run does not end without victory. And it's 6-4 in favour of the Bass School, the home side here. An entertaining but low-scoring first half between these two winless teams, both playing their third and final game for Pool D. Bass coming off a 22-all draw with Hunter, while Greg's, they went down to St Dominic's 18-12. Certainly two very evenly poised sides to the naked eye. It did look as though the home side had the better opportunities in that first half, but 4 points to Greg. St Greg's literally on the stroke of half time. Certainly helps the visitors give themselves a rise heading into this second 30. It will be the team from Campbelltown kicking things off here. Bass with the first set in this second half. Fanafo Sevi, the front rower for Bass, the number 8, he was certainly a standout in that first half. One of the bruising members of that Bass pack. And here's another one. 15-year-old Simi Laifi, the New South Wales under-18s rep. Got a quick play the ball as well. There's Taufua, one of the brothers. That's Mitchell. And already up and back to halfway. Jonathan Sewer with a cutout. There's the other Taufua. That's Maxwell. The Manly SG Ball reps. So down the short side they go. Good contact made on fullback Eamon Marbani there. Good yardage in this first set. Now Sewer's going to go high. Mangan underneath it. He's going to be under all sorts of pressure here. Does well, Cooper Mangan. Beat the initial contact from Charles Afiaki there. Still deep in their own set. There's the try scorer for Greg's on the stroke of half time with a good run. The ball was ripped out but backwards, and 6 more tackles for the visitors. Playing it on their own 20. Cooper Mangan with another carry. Jeez, he's been busy. Plenty of Bass defenders involved midfield with that defensive work. Up goes Lachlan Bush. The Tigers under-18s Laurie Daly Cup front rower. Mason through hands to Geimer, their captain. Up over halfway they go to get towards the end of this set. Mason off a left and a right. Good offload too for Bush. Looks like he maybe got the ball working back towards his own goal line, but referee Callum Richardson saw it as a knock on. So Bass with decent field position here after good defensive work. Six points to 4 in favour of Bass in the early stages of this second half. And it will be Jonathan Sewer, their captain, to feed this scrum. So out to the right hand side they go as they look to get back to halfway. Out of dummy half, there's a really good run from Bilal El Yusuf, but it's been lost at the end of it. So now the opposition 14 comes away with it. Dylan Smith. And now it's Greg's into Bass's half of the field. Winding up the number 16 for St. Greg's, Zach Wheeler. Edging closer to that red zone now. Geimer gives a short ball to Lachlan Dooner. The Roosters Harold Matt's rep. He got upended. There was a bit of space potentially inside, but Mason's met by his opposite number, Sewer. Down that right edge, the hole closed up pretty quickly. Fitzpatrick now. And a good offload. Smith goes out wide to the left. Fisher trying to get through tackles and around them. He does initially, but he ran into a dead end eventually. So Fitzpatrick gets it out the back, and that kick just either not enough height or got the angle slightly wrong, and Jonathan Sewer is going to take a quick tap and just waltz himself up the middle. A 20-metre run there to kickstart this set from the captain, and 6 to go as well. So all of a sudden, Charles Afiaki has Bass into opposition territory. The best opportunity of this second half, undoubtedly. Maxwell Taufua has lost it. Is there a problem here? He stays down. Looks like there's a bit of a problem here, judging by the reaction of some of his teammates. Potentially something kind of serious looking on his right arm, if I'm speculating, which looks awful. One of the Taufua brothers for Bass, the centre, Maxwell Taufua, the Manly SG Ball representative. Looks in all sorts of pain. Time was blown off immediately too, suggesting a pretty severe problem. Maybe it was a nose issue. Maybe there's blood coming out of there. I'm guessing, to be honest. Tough to get a read from this angle. He's been really dangerous ball in hand in this game as well. So that's not ideal for this Bass lineup. So play on here. Deshaun Liddon with the ball. One of the other Manly Harold Matt's representatives. Sewer now goes short to Jack Brander. Ben now finds Daly off the right foot. Beat the rush defence. And Sewer has it again, getting his hands on plenty of the footy. That kick landed straight into the breadbasket of Lachlan Dooner, though. So Greg's, once again, they hold on. Now Parry with a carry up the middle. Through goes Parry. He was hit with everything and more from Fanafo Seve eventually. And there's another Bass player down around the play the ball. Off the back of an excellent run from Cody Parry, who picked up 20-odd metres. He was hit in a incredibly strong tackle at the end of it by Seve, but it's one of the other Bass players now down, just only moments after Maxwell Tautua had to be removed from the field. And with the doctors right on top, tough to identify which of the Bass players this is as well. Wondering whether it's the fullback who was trying to make the last line tackle, Eamon Marbani. I think it might be. Lying down on his front there. Hasn't really moved either. Yeah, it is the number one for Bass, Marbani. Now he's been rolled onto his back. So certainly a couple of early personnel challenges in this second half. About 10 minutes gone. So referee Callum Richardson, he's had to pull play up a couple of times. Good to see Marbani sitting up right now. It'll be headgear off. And probably he heads to the sideline. Potentially that means the number 14 for Bass, Bilal El Yusuf, drops back to fullback. We'll wait and see. But certainly a couple of tests for Bass High to overcome in this second half, losing their number 3 and their number 1 within the space of 2 or 3 minutes. As Eamon Marbani now walks his way to the sideline, and that'll reduce the Bass bench down to 2 players as well. Unless Maxwell Tautua can make a miraculous recovery as well. So El Yusuf will drop back to fullback, the number 14 for Bass. So what impact will that have in this game? We'll have to wait and see. So Parry to play it. Parramatta SG ball representative. Scored one of only 2 tries in this game so far. Certainly got Greg's finishing that first half with a bang. So the Bass depth will be tested here as Bush is back into the game. Played it on to Paddy Cleary there. In fact, no, it was the number 15 Stimson. That's Will Stimson, cousin of Joe, the Bulldogs forward. Oh, and there he is. Hit once again. Bruising contact as Gregs go over halfway. Mason now, he's going to go super high and give El Yusuf a bit of a challenge as he drops back to fullback, and he passes that one with flying colours. The chase was good from St Greg's. Sinoval plays at midfield, one of the Bass wingers, and now driven backwards as Afiaki, as they work their way back towards halfway the home side. 6-4, a low-scoring affair in this Pool D match. Sewer with a cutout. Dangerous. He's lost it, though. So Taufua, he was hit well, and in the end, the defence was good enough. I think it was Lachlan Dooner that just got his hands involved around the ball as well, and it was coughed up by Mitchell Taufua, who's been an absolute handful in this game so far. And every time it looks like Bass are about to get on top, St. Greg's come up with a game-changing play. Fitzpatrick, as they go out wide, played it on to Tom Fisher, the left edge forward for Greg's, just their own side of halfway. Stimson hit well once again, but keeps coming back for more. Good play the ball. Smith will take advantage, gets it to Fitzpatrick. On they go. And there's another error. I think it was Fisher. So ball security has become a bit of a question mark for both sides in the last few minutes, as time starts to wind its way down. 2 points in it. Two sides with plenty of impressive young prospects, but yet to win in this Peter Mulholland Cup so far. Guymer, the Greg's captain, with a good tackle on El Youssef. Had to go back and play it. Lachlan Bush with strong defensive work there midfield. And there goes Sidaveni Taulunga. Daly steps off that right. 40 out. Couple more tackles up their sleeves for Bass. Dayshawn Liddon. Now it's Jonathan Sewer that gets it. The defence came up quick, smart. He couldn't quite kick it at the first attempt. Rolled one in eventually. And now Cooper Mangan brings it back to his own 20. So Greg's holding on. Now another strong carry from the left winger, Parry. Dylan Smith finds some room up the middle. He's been dangerous out of dummy half. Not much size to him, but has good vision. Dooner plays it. Bush. Lachlan Bush, plenty of carries for him this afternoon. Fitzpatrick now puts one in behind. El Youssef getting back there, and so is Sinavau, who has it. Elijah Sinavau brings it back. As Bass try to work it out of danger. And there's El Youssef involved out of dummy half. At pace, Bush was pushed back. Boom. Taufua, such a strong carry. Had the arm free as well if he wanted the offload, but Mitchell Taufua just wanted to quick play the ball, and he does get one. As now there's an opportunity down this right edge. Oh, stepping back inside. Magnificent. Afiaki extends that lead for Bass. Charles Afiaki. He's been tough to stop down that right edge, and how about the sidestep off that right foot from the Bulldogs, Harold Matt's representative, number 4 for Bass, Charles Afiaki. It's a 6-point margin, kick to come. An important conversion attempt coming up for Jonathan Sewer. Just so many damaging ball runners to deal with in that Bass attack. And nearing the final 10 minutes in this game as well. As some of these Bass High students have to make their way back to class. Not great timing. At least they were able to see Bass sneak that try in. So 10 points to 4. Sewer 1 from 1. His first attempt was from right in front. So a much more challenging assignment. This one. Off the back of a ripper try from Charles Afiaki. Both Afiaki and Sewer, Bulldogs representatives. Sewer at SG ball level. And he's been a centre point of that Bass attack today, as you'd expect. A decent strike, but he puts it across the face. So the good news for St Gregory's College is that it's still a 1-score ball game. That was my expectation coming here today, that this probably finishes by 6 points or less, and it is a 6-point margin at this point. 10 points to 4. Bass over the visitors. And their captain to restart. In fact, it was Cooper Cross, the 13, with ball kicking duties. A big carry coming back out. Just so much size in this Bass High pack, isn't there? As now they move it down the left edge, asking questions. There's Taufua once again. He has stood out in this game. El Yusuf. Midfield. Slow play the ball for Ben. As they work it through hands. That pass just went behind Jai Daly, and he was not able to pull it in cleanly. So Greg's now with a good opportunity, and they haven't had too many chances ball in hand inside opposition territory. Here's one though. And of course, if you're just joining us, Bass, they've lost a couple of key contributors in this second half. Eamon Marbani, the fullback, and a couple of minutes before that, Maxwell Tautua, the centre. Up goes Charlie Geimer with another carry. Para jersey flag player. Mason now off the right foot. Really slow play the ball for the Greg's ball player. Oh, the contact on William Stimson once again. He's been manhandled in this second half. Through hands, slight overlap. Cooper Mangan has to step back in field though. Ran out of room and finished off in the tackle. Couple more plays here. Cross goes forward. Cooper Cross. Last tackle. To the right they go. Mason through hands. Rolling one in behind was Geimer. And it looks like there was a forward pass in that exchange. So Bass come away with it without problems there. And they hold on to that 6-point lead for now at least. So Mithu Murray will play it for Sewer. as Bass try to bring it out of their own end, holding on to a 6-point advantage. Sewer now out of acting half. He's slow to get back to his feet. Back into the game is Simi Laifi. They work it through hands. There's a bit of an overlap down this right edge again. Afiaki throwing away tacklers. Charles Afiaki, he's the one with the ball. It looked like he was tackling players in that exchange there. As Daly through hands to Sua. Taufua with an overlap. He held on to it, and now he's lost it forward. Although there's a penalty, according to Callum Richardson. I thought he wanted the offload there. Mitchell Tautua. Now Richardson blows time off. And the captain, Charlie Geimer, certainly not happy with the ruling there. Interesting decision here for Jonathan Sewer. 2 points. Extends it to a 2-score game. If he wants to go for the penalty goal. Looks like Simi Laifi wants a carry though. Jonathan Sewer certainly having a good hard think about this one. That's right. There's a play down in back plate all the way on the other side of the field. One of the Greg's left edge players slow to get back to his feet. He looks in real pain as well. It's a number 7 as well, Trey Fitzpatrick. So that's a massive blow for Greg's. Both of these sides now, they've got key players exiting in this second half. So we're ready to go once again. Zach Jones, the number 9 for Greg's, back into the game. They're back on an angle. Taulunga put on his back. Now it goes to Simi Laifi. Only a few metres out from that Greg's try line. And there's another carry for Taulunga. He's only a metre short. Ben now goes to Sewer. Sewer with a dummy. Tries to use that footwork to work his way to the try line, but the St. Greg's College defence was up to the task. Sewer wasn't happy with the end of it. He's going to be tough to stop. Sevi. He is, though, 5th and last. Scored the opening try in this game, Sevi. Now back on the inside. It was always going to be tough to bring down Simeone Laifi, the stud 15-year-old. And there's a bit of a disagreement at the end of it. Simi Laifi was not going to be stopped from there, was he? And Bass, they're going to be tough to rain down here now. 10-point advantage. 14 points to 4, kick to come. And two of the Bass gun front rowers have tries in this game. Earlier on it was Fanafo Seve, and that time it's Simeone Laifi, the star 15-year-old. So Jonathan Sewer, he'll look to add the extra 2. Only takes it back 10 metres as well. So can he make this a 12-point ball game? 1 from 2 this afternoon. Sewer. Make that 2 from 3. Extends 16 points to 4. Bass over Greggs. Been an impressive second half from the home side. So Cooper cross to get things back underway, and he does not do anything fancy. Sends it deep. Allowed to bounce as well, as now they bring it back. Good defence. There's the response we're looking for from Greggs. And there's the try scorer, Laifi. So good room up the middle. Jerome Goddard. 40 out from their own line, as this set only has a couple of tackles left in it. Out the back, Daly looks for an early kick. Mangan's getting across. More work for the number 1 for Greggs, Cooper Mangan. Undersized, but has been a good contributor. He's lost it that time, and there's a problem going back the other way. How about the finish? Mithu Murray reached out, but we're coming back. We're coming back. Double knock on. So the ruling is it was ripped out of the grasp of Cooper Mangan. Certainly a get out of jail moment there for Greggs. Still officially with a chance, but down by 12 points. It's getting to that stage now where they need something. Heath, Mason to feed. Through hands they go. Working it all the way to that left edge. Well, it was touched and 6 to go, but it was tackle 1 anyway. Ollie Kaluzan plays it. Mangan now at first receiver, short side. Beats 2 tacklers, Mangan. Trying to figure out a way back to his own 40. Tackled. Cross. Hit, but a chance to offload. And now it's ripped out, but it'll be 6 more tackles. Simi Laifi did well to pull it out, but couldn't stay with it. Mason now goes wide to Geimer. There is a bit of an overlap here. Pass was forward. And there's a Bass player down in back play. I think it is just cramping. Might be Fanafo Seve. Sounds like a bad calf cramp. He's in some pain. Yeah, we've mentioned a couple of times, obviously so much rain over the course of 2022 in Sydney, and this ground here at Bass High remains nice and soft underfoot. And Fanafo Seve, he's after an interchange by the looks of things. Not too much more running in that left calf for the day. Has been an impressive showing by the SG Ball representative at the Bulldogs. Scored the opening try in this game, Fo Seve. And it will be a Bass feed after the Greggs forward pass. And St. Greggs, they're just running out of opportunities, down 16 points to 4 as Jonathan Sewer has it short side. Slipped out of room there. Over the top was Paddy Cleary. Sewer just trying to demonstrate that he was hit high. The ball's come loose now, and it will be ruled as such. Greg's ball. Not done yet, according to the body language of the visitors. Looking to finish strong, this St. Greg's College lineup, down by 12 points. Was it not for a try in the final play of that first half? They don't have a lot to hang their hat on in offense. Parry, the try scorer there, with a solid run over the top of El Youssef. He's been impressive, Cody Parry, the Parramatta SG ball winger. So Greg's nearly back to halfway now. Tackle 2. And now out of acting half. That was a good run from Zach Jones. Working it to the left goes Jack Burrows, another Parramatta SG ball player for Greg's. Mason now sees something in behind. It was Parry doing chase. Parry comes away with it too. Parry's put it down. So Cody Parry, the left winger for Greg's, has a double. And they just have a minor sniff. So a good chase. Opportunistic from Cody Parry. Both of his tries have come off the back of last tackle kicks from Heath Mason. And it goes without saying, a vitally important conversion attempt here. For the lock forward Cooper Cross. So Mason has handed over goal kicking duties. Cross takes no time at all. And he has put the flags up. 6-point ball game. 16 points to 10. We're not done yet. Just a few minutes left. Following that Cody Parry try. So St. Greg's, both of their Pool D games up to this point today was 6-point losses. They went down 24-18 in Cessnock, round 1 against Hunter. And then 18 points to 12 against St. Dominic's. They're down by 6 points here. That'd be a tough way to finish the Peter Mulholland Cup, wouldn't it? 3 6-point defeats. So Sewer restarts deep to the right. Dylan Smith underneath it. And back comes St. Greg's. You'd have to say they're going to have to think expansively in this set at some point. Cross as they look to make it out of their own end. Probably one of their last 2 possessions. An early kick from Mason. In behind El Youssef as well. It is a good kick. Downfield. El Youssef has to go all the way back to inside his own 10 to recover that one. So a good result there for Greg's. Now it's all about defence here. Has there been a strip in there? There has been. It's Greg's ball. Here we go. Grandstand finish on our hands as they move it out to the left. Simpson burrowing. Very close to that Bass try line. They're a bit stunned here. Cross now off the right foot. Trying to spin his way to the line. There are enough defenders there to cover. So Greg's looking out to the right. In fact, back through the short side goes Bush. He's held up. Lachlan Bush was held up. A couple more tackles for Greg's here. Down by 6. Bass, they already have a draw in this competition. Turning it back inside. Guymer, their captain, gets a pass away to Bush once again. So just one or two more tackles left in this set. Through hands they go. Dylan Smith. Out the back he goes. Across they go. In that right edge. Running out of room. In fact, Gregs are in. St Gregory's College have scored. And a conversion here puts them level. It's Cleary that found an overlap down that right edge. What an unbelievable last few minutes for the visitors here. Right at the death. In fact, there you go. There's full time. So Cooper Cross has a conversion attempt 20 metres out, about midway between posts and sideline, to literally give Greggs a draw on full time. 16 points to 14. The home fans find their voice. Cooper Cross, the Tigers Laurie Daly Cup representative. In he comes and he blasts it over. 16 points apiece to finish off this Pool D encounter. What a finish that was, and the Bass High boys are stunned. And that's full time. Can you believe it? What a finish in this round 2 Pool D match between Bass High and St Greg's. Bass High, from their 3 games, finished with 2 draws. It was 22 all against Hunter, and now today against St Greg's, 16 points each. Greg's the fast finishes, 2 tries in that last 3-minute period, and Cooper Cross converted both of those tries. Wowee. What an encounter that was. We knew it was going to be close. We didn't think it was going to be that close.